Everybody, it's Kirstin. A couple of you might have noticed that I did a live just a few minutes ago, but I was using my phone and hurting my arm, so I decided to give it another go down in front of my laptop. So I'm answering a question today about how to ask for help in getting your needs met without feeling or seeming needy. And so the first place that my mind went to when I read the question, and thank you, Nancy, for that question, was those 5 styles of conflict solving. So compete, avoid, collaborate, accommodate, and compromise. And the one of the first questions that you ask yourself in any sort of situation where there's problem solving is, and yeah, you probably don't ask yourself this consciously, but I do. What is the most appropriate style for solving this problem? And so in a situation where you need some help getting your needs met, first of all, you'd want to be thinking about, is this a situation that's appropriate for collaboration? And maybe it's not. Maybe it's a crisis situation, and in a crisis situation, maybe you're not capable. Maybe you're not in a space where you can meet other people's needs, where it can't be sort of that mutual decision making. And so, how do you ask for help in that sort of situation without feeling like you're being needy or seeming like you're needy? Well, maybe you can't. Maybe that is a situation where you do have needs that have to be met, and it probably comes down to, who can you ask, right? And what are the relationships that you have? Who are the people that you could count on to suspend their needs in a time of higher need for you? Sometimes it's personal relationships, sometimes it's professional, right? Sometimes we need to look to the professionals to help us meet our needs in that situation, whatever that might be. I think, though, if you're talking about, over the course of time, where we're not talking about a crisis situation, where we're talking about, in a relationship, whether that's a work relationship or a personal relationship, where we are feeling like our needs aren't being met and we want someone to pay attention to that. Just like any collaboration, if we decide, yes, I'm going to use collaboration for this, you need to prepare yourself to have that conversation. And so identifying what your needs are is one of the first steps to doing that. And a lot of people think that needs and wants are the same thing. So I want to do a little differentiation between needs and wants. So I used I'm going to use an example of a, say, a household kind of thing, right? Where maybe you are the one that always is cleaning up and taking care of the household stuff, and you're getting tired and you want some support with that. I think a lot of people might say, I have a need for someone else to take on some of these chores, right? I need you to take out the trash. That's not a need, that is a want. And that is typically, in a situation where you're not using collaboration, that would be the position that you might put forth, right? Where you want to win that position. And it's that stating it in that way of a want rather than a need. That's what creates the conflict. That's what where you might find some opposition. You might have somebody say, "Oh, yes, I'm happy to take out the trash." If that's not the case, and there needs to be negotiation, you need to get to a place where you're looking truly at what the needs are, what your needs are, not what your wants are. And so in a situation like that, where the want is, I want someone to take out the trash, the need or needs might be, I want to feel supported. I want to feel like there's some joint responsibility for having a peaceful, clean, comfortable environment. Maybe you want to feel valued in your relationships. Maybe you want to be seen. Maybe you want to feel like people see you and appreciate you. And, so those are the needs. As opposed to the wants. So you got to figure out what those are. And once you figure out what those are, and then you decide, I'm gonna take these needs to the person that I want to negotiate with, you know, you've got to listen to what their needs are, and you might find that you have similar needs, but the how you figure out how to meet those needs can be very different, right? So so then it becomes a negotiation of how do we get those needs met, and there's many, many ways that those needs can be met, and you may still end up taking out the trash, but maybe you get your needs met in a different way of feeling valued, feeling seen, feeling respected, or joint responsibility for having a comfortable, smell-free environment. So the other thing that I was thinking about when I was thinking about this question is, you know, how do you do this in a way that you don't feel needy, asking for your needs to be met? And one of the big things that you have to do to not feel needy is to believe that your needs are important to be met. You know, we all have needs. Every single person has needs that has to be met. We're all needy, if we want to use that terminology. But that negative connotation of needy, meaning I'm focusing too much on my needs. We all focus on our needs, every single one of us. That's how we move through the world. Every single action that we take is us trying to get our needs met in the best way that we know how. And how do we do that in a way that we're connecting with another person, so that we're basically, I think the question is, how do we not annoy other people? How do we not, another part of the question was, how do we not take advantage, right? And I think, how do we not take advantage? There's a couple of things that I'm thinking about there. One is that I think, my definition of a healthy relationship is that over time, both people get their needs met the majority of the time. If you're in a relationship where only one person gets their needs met the majority of the time, it's unbalanced, and I wouldn't consider that to be a healthy relationship. There's going to come a time in a lot of relationships, whether it's a work relationship or a personal relationship, where somebody just has higher needs than the other, right? Maybe someone's going through a health scare. Maybe there's something really high pressure happening at work, and someone can help you out, and then maybe when they're going through their high pressure thing, maybe you're helping them out. But if it's always somebody being in the high pressure or the high need situation, and the other person always being in a place of, I have to be the one to help you and put my needs aside, it's not healthy for the relationship, and it's probably not going to last, or somebody's going to get burnt out and have that resentment that I think the person who asked the question is worried about them having. So there's that to consider. And then the other thing to consider too, and I think I mentioned this, is feeling like you're worthy of getting your needs met, and we all are. But sometimes it takes us a while to get to that place where we really believe it. So I hope that answers the question. I'm sure there's probably more to it than that, and I'd be happy to do any kind of follow-up if there's more questions that people have. So thanks for watching. Enjoy your Sunday, and if you do want to get more information about how to make sure that people don't misinterpret your intent, that free guide is available on my website at collaborationschool.com. And I think you'd find that useful in the context of this question. So thanks. Enjoy your Sunday.